Kick it off, kick it off. Welcome, welcome everyone. This is a new platform that I am using. You've probably seen me and actually JR on other platforms that we have done in the past. So we're launching a new one, the house that Ross built. And obviously JR is one of our regular participants, if not co-host. So we wanted to bring him on one of our newer episodes to kind of break down things, get you guys get to feel what we do and those type of things. So we're going to jump right into it. How you doing today, JR?
Man, Aziz, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on and looking forward to sharing what's going on in the market.
Yes, sir. We appreciate that. Appreciate that. Pass information off. So let's get into it. So we've noticed that the market has been just steadily going up, up and up. And
Mhm.
the other day it just hit some new highs. So what's going on with that? What's your feeling about that?
Yeah, so it's a lot of excitement, irrespective of what's going on in the economy. The market has gone up and reached new highs. But let me break it down because we're using these terms, but few people really even know what these terms mean. They say the market went up, right? But what does that mean? Does that mean everybody's stock went up? What exactly does it mean? So let me use kind of an analogy here, right? And this is the way we teach at Flip That Stock. So let's say when a person goes uh, to a doctor, and before they even see the doctor, they usually get their blood pressure, their temperature, and their weight taken, right? Before you even see the doctor. And these three things are overall indicators of our health, right? And so the stock market has three main indicators of its overall health. One is called the Dow Jones, the other is called the Nasdaq, and the other one's called the S&P 500. And if you think of these three indicators, the Dow, the Nasdaq, and S&P 500, it's like buckets, and each bucket has so many stocks in it. So the Dow has 30 stocks in it. The Nasdaq has about 3 to 4,000, and the S&P 500, it's in its name, has 500 stocks. So here's where it gets crazy. When they say, "Oh, the market went through the roof and it's going through the roof, or the market's crashing," they're talking about the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which only has 30 stocks in it. And there's thousands and thousands and thousands of stocks in the stock market. But in order to be in the Dow and be one of those 30 stocks, uh, the companies are ginormous. Like if one of these 30 company moves a little bit, it can impact the whole stock market, right? So they take an average of these 30 stocks, and if they're going up, they say, "Oh, the market's going up." And if they're going down, they say, "Oh, the market's going down." And it is an indicator of overall how the overall market is doing. And so it's just been blazing, man. The Dow hit a record high of 40,000, which hadn't been done before. So there's all this excitement, right? However, this is where we gotta really understand what's going on. Okay.
Give me 1 second, JR, because just because we talk so much and you've been a guest so many times, let me go back because we might have some new people. Let me talk about the business a little. Flip that stock. So
Okay.
talk about a little bit about that. Give them an intro of what you do and what flip that stock
Okay.
is.
Yeah. So at Flip That Stock, what we do is we specialize in teaching beginners how to become active investors and traders in the stock market. And when I say active, I don't mean your 401k. I mean, you know how to take out your phone, your tablet, your laptop on your desktop, find stocks to trade and invest in. And I always like to share this quick story and example. I like Chipotle, and I'm not the only person because every time I go there, there's a line out the door. And so one Friday, I'm in line, and uh, everybody's on their phone. And so I started walking past people and just kind of looking like, what are they on their phone? Right? I'm doing a little scientific experiment here. And so, Facebook, Instagram, texting, email, all of that. I was the only person in that line that pulled my phone out, looked up Chipotle, went through our 7-step system like that. And by the time I got my food and came out of the Chipotle, I had made a decision whether I wanted to be an owner in Chipotle. So everybody else in there was a consumer. I was a consumer too, but I also walked out as an owner. And so that's what I mean by being an active investor or trader. Can you do that? And most people cannot do that. And in particular, our people. So we specialize in teaching our people how to know how to go into different places or from home find stocks that you can invest in, right, for the long term, and also how to go into the market in a short period of time, 15, 20 minutes, go in, look to grab some profit and get out. And that's on our trading side. So that's what we do here at Flip That Stock.
Appreciate that. And like I said, we definitely wanted to make sure everybody understood that and where your expertise comes from. And I'm a student, so I attest to that. I do the trading, the short term stuff. So and I was completely ignorant of stocks and didn't even like them. Was
Yeah, I
thought
remember when we met, you like, ah, man, I don't even believe in the stock market.
so if
Yeah,
I can do it, anybody can do it. So
yeah.
get to what we were talking about, the crash or the, what's going on with the market, what's happening.
Right. So now the market just boom, it went up, right? Hit new highs. Everybody's all excited. But see, when you're educated, you got to think like this. All right. So let's say this. Let's say Aziz, you bought a stock. I'll just make up any stock, ABC stock, right? I'm just making this up. And let's say you bought it at $20 a share, and a share is just a slice of ownership in a company. So let's say you bought it at $20 a share, and let's say that thing went up to 100, and you're all excited. You open up your account, and you're like, man, this thing went from 20 to 100, right? But unless you sell it, it's just paper money, right? Until you sell that stock, you don't get the profits. So you say, I want the profits, you have to sell. Well, the stock market went through the roof, right? And then today it crashed by 600 points. Why? Probably because people were selling and taking those profits at the top. And so they know like uh this probably is going to pull back, it's probably going to crash because people can only go so far before they're like, I gotta take that money. I got to take that money. So I do an experiment with people. I say, and I'll ask you this. So we're going to put you in an experiment. Let's go back to the example. Let's say you bought it a stock for $20.
Yeah.
All right. Now I want you to tell me when are you going to click that button to sell? All right. It went up to 30, and there's no guarantee it's going to keep going up. It could turn around and drop on you. So it's at 30. Do you hold or do you sell? It went
So
from
I'm gonna go to the education part that you've already educated me on, and what we do is try to find the floor. As
Well,
it's
no, forget all that. Because, no,
okay,
don't even forget all that because that's your audience doesn't know about that.
that's
They don't
true.
even
That's
know
true.
about that. So we're just talking about pure human instinct. I
Right.
bought it at 20. I bought it at 20. It went to 30. That's a $10 jump. Would you click the sell button and keep that profit or you staying in?
I would sell it just because, as an investor, I understand that anytime you make $1, you've already won. So, like you said, it could go up or down. My mindset is, I made this amount already. Let me get out.
Okay, so you're like, hey, I got in at 20. That thing went up 10 more dollars. I think that's like a 50% gain. I'm gonna take it and get out. Some people might say, I'm gonna stay in longer. But you right there said, I'm grabbing it. So you got to think at some point when these stocks go up, people are thinking just like you, I gotta grab. And if enough people grab at the same time or in the same time range, that's when everything starts collapsing. And so if you look at the market today and you look at what the Dow did, it dropped, I believe it was like 600 and something points because it had shot up so much, people were grabbing it. So I just want the audience to walk away with the understanding that when these things shoot up, there's high probability it's going to pull back some. And that's part of understanding and being educated in the market. Not saying it won't go back up and go past that, but when you understand these things, you can strategize and not panic. So that's the key, and that's kind of what's going on in the market right now.
Okay, let me ask you a little something. So, since you brought that up, so it went up, so people are grabbing, they're getting their profit out. Do you think
Mhm.
there's another alternative or another reason why they're coming grabbing it out, or it's just that simple? It went up, let me grab it, let me take my money. Or is there
I
another?
think I think yeah, it could be a couple of things. Um, One is just it's just human nature where you're seeing that profit and it's always a kind of a balancing act is okay, when should I take it? Is it going to go up some more? Is it going to? And I think at some point you just say, I'm just going to take it. And I had a stock market coach, and he always said, you never lose when you take your profit. Think about that. You never lose when you take the profit. So that's one reason that a lot of people could. But another reason could be that I've been reading various reports and analysts feel that a big crash is coming, and they feel that uh, like a really significant crash where it may be as much as 50% of the market crashing. Now, who knows? We don't have a crystal ball, but that may play a role in it too. But without knowing for sure, I just think this thing went up so much. A lot of people just started saying, you know, I, I'm going to grab some and get it. And if it does crash, I got my profit. And if it does crash and it goes down significantly, you can always get back in, you know. Um, and then some people say, I'm just going to ride it out. It's going to crash. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. But historically, over time, the market has gone up, but that doesn't always mean your stock is going to go up with the market, right?
Your stock can,
So,
I mean, we've seen it in the past with Lehman Brothers and other big companies
yeah. Mm-hmm.
here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But and that's kind of that's why I asked you, because I wanted you to talk about maybe people are seeing my crash, so let me get out now while I can take
Yeah.
profit. Like you said, we don't have a crystal ball, but I've been hearing a lot of people. I know you talked about it several times, and I'm hearing other people saying, because the market is what it's doing, is that it may be primed for a crash. What are your feelings about that?
Yeah, it's again, we don't have the crystal ball. That's the million, billion, and trillion dollar question is it gonna crash? If it does crash, how hard is it gonna crash? I've seen so-called experts say that it's gonna fall 50% from its peak. I just I really don't know, but here's my suggestion, right? I believe in having skill sets. All right. So investing is one skill set. That's buying and holding and for the long term, right? So anytime you buy a stock and you hold it for, 1 year or longer, one year, 1 day or longer, you're an investor. Okay. Then if you're buying and selling in a shorter period of time, it could be months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, even seconds, you're deemed a trader. So if you know how to invest and you have that skill set, and you also know how to trade and you have that skill set, now you're equipped to kind of handle the different things that the market throws at you. And so, and you can be both. I'm both, and you can have a separate account for investing, and you can have a separate account for trading. And traders, we're looking to make right now money, right? People got right now bills. They want to make some right now money. And it's kind of like a lot of people are starting to see that trading is the new side hustle. That's the new side hustle that a lot of people are learning about because you don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to work anywhere, you don't have to leave your house. You literally click some buttons on your computer if you know how to do it. Obviously, you got to be educated. But my advice is to learn both, understand and learn investing, and also understand and learn uh, trading because this is easy because you're a Flip That Stock member. But most people don't know that as the market is crashing, you can make money as the stock is going down. And people are like, what? What do you mean? That doesn't make sense. I understand it going up, but what do you mean? And that's a whole nother technique. We don't have time to go into all the detail, but I want you to know as a trader or stock flipper, you can make money when it goes up. You can make money when the stock comes down.
And
So the takeaway is, get those skill sets, get those money making skill sets.
and that I was gonna jump in there and say that that's the skill set you've been teaching it for it to make the money when it's going up and make the money when it's going down. The principles are the same, right? It's just
Yeah, exactly the same.
and that's what you taught me how easy that was. And that again, I'm on more on the trader side right now because I need right now money, cash flow.
Right, right, right.
Is
Once you
king,
once you get some of that right now money, it's hard to say, um, I'm just gonna not do it, right? I mean, investing, we're holding, we're looking for it to go up. But as you've seen and experienced, and most people haven't, the potential, right? The potential to go into the market. And I have a 14-step system that I developed that you've seen and participated in, where we go in the market and we're usually in and out in 5 minutes. And the opening bell is at 9:30. We're usually in and out 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We're not sitting like a lot of people think, oh, you're sitting at your computer all day long. No, we're not. System in and out, and we go on with our day. So
And it's that simple, and some people see things like that and oh, that they're just, trying to sell me something, so on and so forth. So our listeners here, you can get contact with us. I challenge you to figure out or to find out if what he's saying is true, because like I said, I was clueless about stocks and what he's saying.
you big skeptic.
Yeah, nothing at all. So it's very true what he's saying, and it's not that difficult. If you can read and write and add a couple numbers, you can sell the house.
Yeah.
So and Jason, I mean, JR keeps it very simple where he can teach anybody at any level how to do it. So it doesn't take a lot of you gotta some people you get into stock and say, oh, you gotta learn this strategy, that strategy, all that. But JR keeps it real simple. So I definitely, if you go to flipthatstock.com and or reach out to us and he can give you a live example of what he does.
And I'll say this: if I weren't doing what I do and know what I know, I'd be a skeptic too. I wouldn't believe it too. Like somebody said, yeah, I went in the stock and in 30 seconds I made $100, like or 200. There's people don't make that. The average person makes, I think it's like $22, $23 an hour. They're getting up, getting dressed, getting in traffic, driving to a job. So when you say, yeah, I made 100, don't even say 200, 500, or 1,000. Like, nah, man, you just trying to sell me something. So I would be a skeptic, but I challenge anybody to come, go to flipthatstock.com. There's a demo that we show you. Make sure we have a little section when you go in there and it says, how did you hear about us? Please make sure to put Aziz's name in there. Um, we always like to know where people are coming from, and this is a great platform. So please definitely put Aziz's name in there, and then you'll get to watch a short video. It's 8 minutes. I can teach you about flipping in 8 minutes, and then I'm going to show you an actual demonstration of a flip after you learn the 8 minutes. So flipthatstock.com. Come take the Flip That Stock Challenge. That's what we're going to call it, the Flip That Stock Challenge. And,
and
and we go from there.
for our listeners, I mean, just from other stuff that we've done, and what we do here, we're about educating people. So once you know us or you get to know us, it could be your first time that, we're in business to make money. That's what business owners do. That's what we do. Like says Black CEO, we're CEOs, so we're in business to make money. But at the same time, we feel a certain part of us that needs to help other people learn this and make money as well. So there's nothing wrong with making money and also teaching other people to make money, and that's what we do. And that's what
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
absolutely. I mean, people, when you go to college or you're in school, the professor's getting paid as he's teaching. And the amount of money that I've invested in myself to learn all this stuff, right? Um, I'm just gonna say it. I deserve to be paid, and it's well worth it because I'm helping you get a skill set, right? And it's all about investing in yourself. And Aziz, I have this 3-step formula that because people say, man, you seem to always get what you want. How do you do it? It's not complicated. I've always used these same 3 steps, right? And the 3 steps are: number one, I identify what I want. So, for example, when I was younger, I wanted to play guitar, and that's what I wanted to do. So the second thing is, what my parents actually did this for me because I was in grade school. They found an excellent guitarist teacher who was obsessed with playing and teaching. So the second step is after you identify what you want, find somebody who's obsessed with it and willing to teach. And the third part is just pay them, you know, and that keeps you from having to go through all the winding roads and pitfalls and headaches and frustration and losing money. Just pay them, right? And if you follow those, that's what I follow. I identify what I want. I want to learn the stock market. I found somebody who was obsessed with it, and I paid them. And I paid them a lot more than what I charged. And this was 20 years ago. And that's what we do. Uh,
And it's reasonably priced for because what he charges after you do a few, maybe 2, 3, you're going to get your money back. That's how
yeah,
impactful it is when you teach it.
yeah. I mean, it's a system that we teach. We obviously can't make guarantees and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, that's where red flags pop up. If somebody says, "I guarantee you, you'll never lose money," well, then they be a billionaire, right? If they never, that's a lie. Or I guarantee you're going to make X amount next week. Just get our course. These are all red flags, right? But somebody like me said, come in and take the challenge. And the potential is unlimited, right? And the sky is the limit. It obviously depends on you following the system and stuff like that. But we're talking about investing in a skill set, right? You go to school, and most of the time, if you think about this, Aziz, most of the kids that are coming out of school now aren't coming out with a skill set.
None
They
at
got
all.
a piece of paper and no skill. And that's why people who have the skills are now more and more companies are saying, we don't need the piece of paper, we need the skill set.
And that's the
So
part. Once you get that skill set, whether you use it now, use it later, or whatever, that, like they say, popular saying is that nobody can take the knowledge away from you.
yeah.
Based on what you're saying, is that I met somebody today that engineering degree, went to school to be an engineer, and they're commodities trader now.
Hmm.
So
Now,
they
isn't that
wasted all that
interesting?
money going to school, and they're doing something
Right.
completely different from what they did school before.
Well, I'm that person too. I
Yep.
got a nursing pre-med degree. And
Right.
and and,
I'm the same
and
person.
here I
Well,
am.
yeah, I went to school for
So
business, so I guess I'm in business. But yeah,
yeah,
so
so I mean, you never know where you're gonna end up. But whatever a person's doing, I don't care if they own a business, if they work for somebody, if they're a student, learning the skill of trading is something you can add to your life easily if you really want to learn. There's no drawback to it when you find a system that really works. And this is another red flag too, right? Um, and Aziz can attest to this. I demonstrate the strategy that I teach, do I not?
absolutely.
And I do it over and over and over and over again. With live stock market data, you can see the strategy. So when you're looking for somebody, don't fall for the get rich quick scheme. Don't fall for the you're never gonna lose money scheme. Don't fall for, well, I did this years ago. No, can you demonstrate you're doing it right now? Right. And so these are some of the things that people should look out for. So then take the flip that stock challenge, see what happens.
See what happened. I'll give you a little testimony. So when he's saying that he what we do in his class is that we meet up before the market opens, and he's on live with his account, his money, right? And he's showing us. He even lets us sometimes do it, so we learn with his money, and he's showing us live how he's making money. So we're seeing how we make money. He's also teaching us how to what they call short, which I'll have Jason. We'll have a whole program just about what shorts are about, what options, all that stuff, so he can educate you as far as that. But it's real life. He's showing you real life. He's showing the money it's made right there, right in front of your eyes on a live market, live stock market. So what he's saying is, like I said, you got to check it out. You got to see it for yourself.
Yeah, it's funny because again, I remember when we first talked, and I know your expertise is in real estate, and we were talking, and you're like, man, I just discounted the stock market. It's like, I didn't believe in it, and you're not alone. And a lot of us, you're educated. I'm educated. At one point, I knew nothing about it. I got pulled into it kicking and screaming, right? And but once I got in, I just became so fascinated with it. Um, and yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It is a great skill uh, to have, and I'm doing a little experiment now where I took a very small account, like $1,000, 1,300, and I'm seeing how much I can grow that uh, based on just using my strategy. And I haven't had one loss yet. And on our next training, I'm going to show you guys. This was something I've been kind of doing in the background, and I just wanted to prove that whether you had $1,000 to work with or whether you had 20,000 or 100,000, the system works. You know, the profits may be smaller, but it's about the system. It's about following a system, and then you can scale up depending on whatever amount of money you have. So it's
And
fun. It's a lot of fun. Love doing it, and
that's another thing
yeah.
you can tell when you can tell by him talking and when he's on the class his passion for loving to do that what he's teaching us. But and a lot of people, I think they get, oh, I don't have any money to invest. They get scared away because they think they need all this hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest. And he's telling you that you don't. And I'm a prime
Yeah.
example. I'm just getting started, so I don't have a lot invested. As I learn, obviously, I'm gonna put more into it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't take a lot of money.
Yeah. You just scale as you go. As a matter of fact, I recommend people start off smaller, right? The challenge is like when you come in and we show you how to set up a practice account and they give you some fake money to start with. Well, you can see the potential. You can see, man, you can see making $500 quick, right? In your practice account. And so now in your mind, you know what the possibilities are, right? But that may not be how much money you're able to start off with in your live account, and the profits may be smaller. That's okay. That's all right because you can scale up. You just scale up, and that's really the best way to do it. Even if I've had people come in uh, and become Flip That Stock members and get in our mentorship program, and they had $250,000 they came in with, and they just wanted to go, go, go. Man, I got the money. Let's go, let's go. I want to make some more money, and I had to pull them back and say, whoa, slow down, slow down. It's kind of like you got a brand new car, but you don't know how to drive. I
Yeah,
got to pull you back. So it's better to scale up slower and really understand what you're doing. And then as you do scale up, your profits get bigger and bigger and you're good to go. So,
yeah. And then, like you said, I like that you said side hustle. I mean, everybody doing driving for Uber, delivering food, all these type of things. When
mhm.
for a low amount of money, you can get in this and make real money, like doctor's wages. We won't get into specific dollar amounts, but once you
Yeah,
learn, you can make it quite a bit of money.
yeah, there's no limit, to what you can make. Um, and in a future episode, we can get into what the exact formula is on how you make money and stuff like that. But I go over that in the 8-minute video. So like I said, go to flipthatstock.com, put Aziz's name in, because when you do put his name in, you also get a special offer, and and uh, uh, and watch the 8-minute video, and it's going to go over in 8 minutes. I'm going to teach y'all the whole concept behind flipping, and then you're going to see an actual demonstration of a stock flip.
And
So
listen, guys, he's talking about 10 minutes. Doesn't cost you anything to take 10
no,
videos, eight
no.
minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes from logging in to logging out to see, where you could potentially make quite a bit of money. If
Mhm.
you're not, if you can't give up 10 minutes for your future, then, you might have to check yourself.
We don't even want people like we've turned away people, right? We are a business and we get paid for what we do, but we've turned away people because we can tell they're not committed, right? They're not willing to watch a video, they're not willing to follow a system, they're not, so we don't want you, right? This is a skill we're teaching you, right? This is a skill set you can use the rest of your life. You assume that the stock market will be here the rest of your life. This is a skill you can use the rest of your life, right? And there's some things that are coming in the stock market that we'll discuss on future episodes that's going to be making it even more enticing. And there'll be more people who are coming and wanting to learn this. But you've got to resist the temptation to just focus on the money, right? And Aziz has heard me say this probably 100 times. The quickest way to lose money in the stock market is focus on the money. Don't focus on the money. Focus on learning a system, a strategy. And if you get good enough at that, the byproduct is the money. So yeah, a lot of exciting things coming.
A lot of exciting things. And like I said, for me, because for I do a lot of things. I got a couple businesses I run, real estate, so on and so forth. So a lot of people will use an excuse as time, and there's other students on there that are way more time invested than I am. But the thing is that you can work at your own pace, right? It's not saying you have to do this, you have to do. He's saying this is our program, this is how we do it, this is times we do it from. But you're owning your own business, your own
Yeah.
trainer. So you don't have to be constricted by time if you don't have it, right? Can you explain a little bit about, as far as the time goes?
Yeah. So the way our program works is, I had one person and they thought it was like, you sign up and then the semester starts like in school. And if you don't start at this particular time, you got to wait till the next semester. It doesn't work like that. Anybody who signs up, you immediately have access to our online videos. And then after you watch a couple of the videos, then you start coming into our live trainings. And you can do that at your own pace. There's no rush. The market's not going anywhere. There's always opportunities in the market. That's why they talk about the stock market. You ever notice they talk about the stock market every single day? They have a whole channel dedicated, and many, I don't even know how many websites there are out there that are dedicated to the stock market, because every single day there's an opportunity somewhere. Now that doesn't mean you have to go in and trade every single day. Uh, we have a specific setup that we look for, and if it's there, then we go for it. But there's unlimited opportunities. You go at your own pace, because it's better to understand than to just be rushing through this. Because if you're rushing through it, that means you're going after the money. I just want the money, and you're bound to fail. Just take your time, learn the system, and then watch what happens.
Yep. And if you don't give up that 10 minutes now, just keep watching us. He's going to give you some more. JR is going to give you some more examples of like breaking down like things he was talking about. So you can, eventually after you hear him talking for a few times, you're going to say, let me check this video out if you don't check it out already. Some people you got to show them, right? They need so many people, right?
Yeah. It's always that, but a lot of times, because again, if I weren't doing this, right, it is unbelievable. I mean, you remember the first time that you tuned in? Because I think I remember you were saying something about, yeah, I want to see it. You signed up, you paid your money, and then but inside, and there were some other people who said, now, I done signed up. This thing better be real, right?
Yeah.
And right out the gate, you can see, a real stock market data coming in. And this is you can tell whether the person knows their stuff or not, right? Right out the gate, they ought to be able to demonstrate. Okay. One thing to talk it, it's another thing to say, hey, well, show me in a live account, show me in a demonstration account, that you can do what you're talking about. So I always like to hit people to red flags, because there's so many people out here that are getting caught up. I got a lot of people that have come and paid 10,000, 15,000. We had one person that paid 26,000 to another company and said she learned more from us. And a week that she learned from them, she went and was fortunate, was able to get her money back. The record right now is that for somebody who's come to us, they spent $75,000, and they're wealthy. They were wealthy, and they had come to us, and they went to the same other company that this person went to. The person spent 26,000. That's now being sued. I'm not going to say any names or anything. But we don't do all that pie in the sky stuff. We show you how it is. This is what we do. And there's an old saying, and it goes like this: demonstration beats conversation. So we demonstrate what we can do, right? And then people can make their own decision. But I do understand that there'd be a lot of skepticism, out there. Because like if we were in a grocery store, let's say you and I are in a grocery store, we don't know each other. We're standing in line, it's a long line, and we just start talking. Hey man, what's up? How's your day going? Da da da. Hey man, what do you do? And you tell me what you do, and well, what do you do? Hey man, I flipped the stock this morning and I made $300 in 60 seconds. Right. Who's gonna believe that? You know, so I get it. I get it. And that's why we're into demonstrating what we're talking about and proving we can make it simple for you.
And a lot of that we talked a little bit about before. A lot of that is we're not educating our community about investing, and especially not the stock market. And when they do tell us about it, they make it so complicated. Like it's so complicated. Yeah. And it's not. I mean, the way it may be, but the way you showed me, I don't know anything of that. And I talk to people all the time, like, you need to check my guy out. Oh, well, I've been doing this. I'm reading the charts, and I'm like, you're not getting it. I'm saying, go check out this video, and you're gonna see that you can do this a lot faster. Right.
Right. We that's our claim to fame, is we can take all this complex stuff in the stock market that I believe they've made complex on purpose, and we can simplify it and put a strategy together for people to follow. But it is. It's a lot of complexity out there. There's a gazillion different strategies and techniques and things like that. And I kind of think back to when I was in school, whether it was grade school, high school, college, we all went through this experience where we had one teacher that was just hard as hell to learn from, right? And it's just complicated and they just going by the book and then you had that teacher that you look forward, they made it fun, engaging, and it was so easy to learn and they taught the concepts and really helped you get it and you never forget it. And that's the type of teacher and mentor I like being, and that's our motto is we can teach anyone, no stock market experience needed. You don't need anything. Just come with an open mind and a willingness to invest in yourself and watch it happen. Yeah. But we don't, when we look at the market, it's we're way behind as investors and traders. So we can talk about that, I guess, in a future episode. But that's our mission is to help us get into this.
We have to. We need to. I mean, all realms of investing and building wealth in our community,
Mm-hmm.
Need to do this because as we've seen for the last 500 years, I'm just exaggerating a little bit. Nobody's knocking on your door going to show you how to build wealth, especially in our community.
No,
Right?
no.
They want to keep us where we are. And if you don't take that initiative to do
Right.
it yourself, then you won't do it.
Right. Well, you think about it. Why would a wealthy person that's in power concede his power or her power? There's an old saying, power doesn't concede power. And that is going to give it away. It feels too good. Why would they give it away and say, oh, now I want you to be in power, right? So you got to go after it yourself. You got to be hungry. And, we spend money in a lot of things that, a lot of money, whether it's concert tickets and dinners and cars and rims and jewelry and hair and everything you can think of, vacations, right? And so we have to make a conscious effort to say, at the end of the day, what is my skill set? And if all you have is I got a job, well, I was in corporate America, got laid off 3 times, not because I wasn't good. I was actually the top performer and they still laid me off. And that's when I really started looking at like, man, I got to have my side hustle. This was 30 years ago before they called it a side hustle,
Yeah.
So I like being in control of my money and my time and my effort and give myself a raise.
Absolutely. And you said it beautifully in the beginning. You got to identify what you want. That's
Yeah.
and it sounds cliche, it sounds simple, but that's really, and not saying that everything is going to work smoothly, but once you identify what you want, you're going to ups and downs, losing, winning, you're going to keep moving, and eventually it's going to pay off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. I want this, right? And I'm willing to do what it takes to get it. And then I'm gonna find somebody that I can connect with to teach me, and I'm willing to pay. You can always tell how serious somebody is when they're willing to pull their wallet out and say, I will pay, right? So I look back on all the things that I'm proficient or expert in, whether it's playing guitar, whether it's martial arts, and definitely the stock market. I paid, and I paid heavily, but I was hungry. I wanted it, and it always benefited me to have a coach and a mentor. Always benefited me, right? Matter of fact, I'll tell you this real quick story. Um, there was a guy who came to one of my seminars, and he was so excited. He, Mr. Fenwick, I'm going to sign up. He was a college student. And he went home and he talked to his roommate. And his roommate, man, are you crazy? All this stuff is free on YouTube. So he calls me. He said, "Yeah, I'm not going to sign up because my roommate said all this is free." And I said, "Let me ask you a question. You're in college, right?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What's your major?" He said, "Finance." I said, "Did you know every class that you're taking is free on YouTube? So why aren't you just on YouTube? Why are you paying?" And he had told me at that time he was paying $15,000, which seems like nothing now. He's paying $15,000 a year to go to college. I said, "Why are you wasting your money when all of it's free? Or is there some benefit to having a professor who's been there, done that, seen that, guide you through the process?" So, be careful who you listen to. Be careful who you listen to.
Important. And two things I'm gonna touch on that before we wrap it up is that, so first, what he was saying as far as it's free on YouTube. So I learned from, and I've sat with some people that are very wealthy, took their class, so on and so forth. The worst or the most expensive information that you can get or advice you can get is free advice. Take that as you want to, write that down. The most
Right,
expensive advice
right.
you get is free advice because it's mostly coming from people that ain't done crap, and they giving you
Mm-hmm.
about what you should do or you shouldn't do, and they, and they ain't done nothing to damn self, So just take that with a grain of salt. And then also when they say that, the education obviously is the key, right, to getting to where you want to get to, right, and that's what me and Jr. try to do. We try to educate our people. We give as much as we can. Obviously, like I said, we want to make money from it as well, but we try to give as much as we can just to change the
Mm-hmm.
mindset.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's funny because you'll hear just what you said, Aziz. You'll hear people say, oh man, that's a ripoff. I wouldn't pay that money as y'all go and get concert tickets and get front row seat tickets and all this other stuff, right? And pay all that money for 3, 4, 2 hours worth of entertainment versus a skill set that lasts your lifetime. So I don't, I just share the information with people. If they want to do it, cool. If they don't, cool. It's okay. We know where we're going and what we're doing. Everybody's got to make their decisions for their life. But I will say this, at the end of the day, and more you're seeing, it's about that skill set. What skills do you have? Not what piece of paper do you have? What skill do you have? Right. And so the stock market and having a skill in the stock market that, they asked Jesse James why you rob banks. He said, that's where the money's at. Right. So if you want to know where the money's at, Wall Street's where the money's at. And so we want to have the skill of being able to go and invest and trade in there.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Very, very, very important. The skill set is so important. That we, again, like you said, we'll spend money on a whole bunch of things, but not our own education. And then we
Mm-hmm.
wonder why that we don't have the position in our community that we should have or that we want. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
well, I appreciate JR, and hopefully you guys listeners got a little information. But if you tune in, we're gonna break down, all the technical stuff, options, shorts, and all that type of stuff as we go through the episodes. And there's gonna be some people that want to do it on their own. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna educate you as much as we can. And then if you're really serious about it, then you have a platform, Flip That Stock, that can take you to that level. And that's, like I said, nothing's 100% in any business or any investment, but you
Mm-hmm.
your chance is working with somebody that already knows what they're talking about.
So we look forward to it. And as much as Aziz wants to have me on here, I'll come on and I'll break down what's happening currently in the market like we did today and what my thoughts are. Like I said, I don't have a crystal ball, but I can give you some thoughts and some sentiment that you might not have thought about before or understood. And our role is to break it down and make it simple and understandable, and for you to walk away saying, I can do this. I can do this. And you can. And we can go from there.
Give me your website one more time, because I know there's a lot of different things out there. I want to specifically know they're coming to you when they check it out.
Yeah. So you can just go to flipthatstock.com. When you go there, you'll see our logo, which is behind me. And that's how you know it's our site, flipthatstock.com. And as you scroll down, you'll see the different uh, services that we offer, from flipping stocks to teaching options to teaching how to invest. And you can go to what is of interest to you and then go from there. I just ask that you make sure you put Aziz's name in there. So we always want to know where, because I'm on a lot of different shows and stuff, and I like to know where people are coming from. And I already know this is going to be a top channel, and
Absolutely. And if you
so
don't spell my name, you can always put the house that Ross built. You can put that on there too. He'll be able to
the
find it.
house that Ross built. I like that. I like that.
Yes, sir. And that's
Yeah,
what we're trying to do here. We're trying to help you guys build your own house. That's
yeah, I
what.
like that. Okay.
Again, as usual, always a pleasure. Always learn something when we talk, and look forward to having you on many, many times in the future here. Appreciate you as always.
Definitely, definitely. And we're going to set up something where I'm going to come down there live to the Houston area. So that's
Absolutely.
coming too. So we'll be working on that. All right.
Stay
Okay.
tuned. Hit the
It's
like
been
and
a pleasure, my
subscribe.
brother.
As always, pleasure is all mine. Have a good day and good weekend. I know it's a weekend here, long weekend, so
Yeah.
weekend, enjoy yourself.
Okay. You too. Take
All
care.
right.